I don't know, did you hear or not? Trump announced it might be in the White House. So you've seen White House
Whoa,
on the
Yeah, I did see that. I did on
I
the
didn't know
White
that.
House lawn. I
on,
did see that.
on
Yes.
the back yard. Listen,
I mean, that would be
it's
insane. Imagine watching a UFC in front of the White House. It'd be,
but
I mean,
listen,
and
That would
Trump
be
would be
cool.
the guy to do it. Trump is Dana White's best friend. He would,
of
I mean, it
course.
would be amazing.
From Kansas City to New York City, from planet Earth to extraterrestrial life in space, a podcast with no equal, engaged in unconventional warfare through your speakers and headphones. This is a show about embracing the suck, conquering your demons, and finding God in the face of adversity. Chris Tonto Peranto,
Switch is on. Motherfucker, I'm gonna shoot you in the face.
Ian Scotto.
You know, Ian and I have been dating for a long time.
You are now tuned into the Battle Line Podcast.
The Switch is on Battle Line Podcast, and man, it is amazing to say episode 300. And I have to say, man, to our sponsors who have been with us, thank you so much. And to the listeners, there's people who have been
right here,
listening.
man. Right here.
Bub's Naturals, there's sponsors who've been as listeners, I should say, who've been watching, listening since episode 100 for the past nearly 6 years. There's people who've listened to all 299 episodes thus far. So thank you to you guys and our annex episodes. It's really 300 plus, but yeah, man, to the listeners, you guys are awesome, and the sponsors, and it's really cool to still be able to do this and interview people that really we look up to and we're huge fans of.
No, I still can't believe, I can't believe we're still done this 6 years. I thought we'd have been done a year or two. And get to this point it's been wonderful. I mean, we've got to talk to some really cool people, not just in the veteran community, but like I told Ian, when we talk offline, I enjoy it because I talk to people I probably wouldn't talk to outside of the veteran community, especially
Yeah.
the music community. You know, talking to Brett Lightning, that was freaking epic. Talking to Edsel Dope, I mean, for me, that's cool because
And then Corey Taylor was the
and Corey
that was
Taylor.
one where I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
holy shit, I can't believe we just got this guy on the show.
No,
You know, sometimes it blows
but it was
me away.
and it was awesome. You know, Corey was awesome, dude, and just his tie-in, the Midwest tie-in, of course, with me,
And his
but his father,
veterans organization.
yeah, his veterans organization. It was his. Corey, forgive me, but father or grandfather, there was.
I don't
there
remember
was
off the top of
the
my
family
head,
member, but he had family lineage in the service,
Yeah.
and in the early days, the global war on terror, when you went into Iraq or Afghanistan in the early 2000s, you're going to hear Slipknot all over the place because that's what got you motivated. But it also, when Subliminal Verses came out, that album came out, they had some of the I don't want to say slow jams on it, but some slower
Yeah.
songs that reminded you of missing home. I mean, I remember I would get up in the morning at 5 a.m. and when I was in Baghdad and I'd run around the green zone and I'd put that in and it would, I mean, it would motivate me, but it would remind me of what I was missing at home, which was a good thing, which made me want to stay alive so I could get home, put everything into it. So, yeah, there a lot of us veterans will tell you we have a special relationship with Slipknot and that music. Slipknot for one, Five Finger Death Punch is another one that we quite
And
listen to.
that's another guy. He hasn't been on the show in its entirety, but if you guys listen back to one of the Shot Show episodes, I interviewed Chris Kale for like 5 minutes. It's on one of those,
But
so that was cool. That guy from Five Finger Death Punch.
But you're right, man. It's just it's super cool to be on this long. And I said I didn't think we'd go a couple of years, dude, because I'm a terrible. Ian's awesome. I ain't gonna lie, dude. I know I'm a terrible interviewer.
No,
I
I
just
don't
like
think. I don't
I
think
just
so.
like.
I think there was like, if we're being truthful, like I feel like there was just a learning curve the first few
Oh
months,
yeah,
and then
no,
eventually, I
But
think they're like it takes a while just to have the chemistry, you know, and for any team. And now like I think ever since probably I don't know year one, it's been pretty damn cool, man. And
no,
I
it's
think
been
we've
good.
done some and questions you've asked have been picked up by media, like your stuff about fatherhood with Corey Taylor, like that was your question, and then that got picked up by Yahoo, that got picked up everywhere, all over the place,
Well,
you know. So
I get the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, guys. I get lucky every once in
it's
a
a
while.
good question, you know.
But no, but you are, dude. This is your genre. I'm just happy to be part of it. But you're educated in this as well, so of
I,
course you know.
I guess. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
no, I think it's just more than anything being, you know, inquisitive about people, and I am, and the
yeah.
people we have on are people that I am curious about and that I want to learn about, and I mean, I think that's all that it really is that I like hearing these people's
I
story,
agree.
and I think like both of us make people feel comfortable because there are sometimes people call me and they're like, "What do I have to prepare for? What should I?" And it's just like this is just us hanging out, man. And
Yeah.
there's very few times we've edited interviews, you know, like the one or two times where for a reason for some type of reason, but by and large, like we haven't had to. Everybody's felt pretty comfortable on
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Nah, that says something about the truism and the honesty of the show. And that's why I keep doing it because
Yeah.
no, I ain't gonna lie. There are days where like I don't want to go in and do it. Damn it, I just want to be home today, or I want to go to the gym for another hour. But once I get here, it's like, man, this is like today. It's like, oh man, I'm talking to Andre. This was a wonderful talk, and I got to see my
Yeah.
buddy and talk to. And so the show has just been something that has honestly been therapeutic for me more than anything as well. And it forces me to still get out of my comfort zone every once in a while because I am not comfortable. It may appear that way, but I am not comfortable being the interviewer. I'm comfortable
Well, you've
being
been
the
doing it for 6
interviewee.
years now.
I know, and I still, I mean, you're like you said, you're right. I'm getting better, but I'm still more comfortable being the one that gets questions asked to me than I am the one asking the questions. But I'm learning, and I learn from you, and I learn from when I go on shows. I learn from that person that's interviewing me. Like, okay, what did I like that they did that I can use on my show? So, and then there's interviewers where like, okay, I hated that interview. That was
Yeah.
terrible. What can I do? What should I do what should I not do? Or if, man, I do that same thing and that was a terrible interview, I got to knock that crap off. So it's always learning and it's always
Yeah,
trying to
I do
perfect
too.
the
I
movie.
feel the same too. When I'm editing shows, there's times where I'm just like, geez, what are you doing here?
What
You
are
know,
you
but I think
doing?
it's good to be
Yeah.
critical. Sometimes it's just like the Corey Taylor one, for example, man, it was just really an honor. Like, I remember in the days leading up to that interview, I was thinking about it so much because I was thinking back to, for me, growing up a metal fan,
Yeah.
there's pictures of me, like I think I put it up on there. There's a picture of me with my dog, and I think like my grandpa in a slip. I'm wearing a Slipknot shirt, not my grandpa, but he's
That'd be
there.
cool if your
Yeah, I
grandpa was
know.
wearing a
But I mean,
Slipknot shirt.
we're talking like, uh, we're talking like 20 something years
Yeah.
ago, you
Yeah.
know. And then I remember when I worked at Tower Records in 2006, 2007, and Slipknot's album at that time was #1 on Billboard, which was unheard of. Like when
Yeah.
you think #1 on Billboard of the top 200,
It's
you're
pop.
thinking like, yeah, Britney Spears and
Yeah.
like Sabrina Carpenter or something. It's not a band that heavy. And I remember like every day people coming and buying that album, and it was like, man, this is unheard of that an album this heavy, #1 on Billboard. So I remember like in the days leading up to that interview, which happens to me a lot, like I'm going for my runs in the morning, and as I'm running, I'm like thinking about, man, what do I want to ask this person? What do I need to make sure we hit in this interview? So yeah, man, even if I'm not writing it down, I'm always prepping in my head. It's always kind of up here.
That's and that's why you're good. You're better than me because I
No,
I
thanks,
I
man.
I know. I mean
But
that's
yeah, but
the
don't you in the
education.
days leading up? Because for
Yeah,
me, I'm like like Corey Taylor, like what do I want to ask him? What do I need to get to? I'm always
I
thinking
look at
like,
with me, it's not specific questions. It's like a right and left limits. It's like, okay, I want to stay within here. So like with Corey Taylor, it was, I mean, how can I talk to him without just fanboying the music?
yeah,
And then but then it was the tie-in with the father, his fatherhood, his being a new father, and then also the military, the veterans organization. So it was like, okay, I at least can talk somewhat eloquently in this lane. So I'm going to stay here and then Ian's the music background. He's going to get in the stories. And when you get into that, I just like being a fly on the wall because I like hearing those stories. I watch musical documentaries because I
Sure.
enjoy those stories, especially from the hairband days, from the alternative days, the Nirvana, the Pearl Jam days, Audio Slave when they were coming up, and
Did you ever see? I'm sorry to interrupt you because I was just
no,
thinking
no,
as you were saying Pearl Jam. Did you ever see that documentary they did where because that one was really cool. They're one of those bands that filmed everything from like the very beginning. And they
which
put it all together in this documentary. I don't know, I don't remember the name. I'm sure Harold could put it up on screen, but like it was it was their documentary. Like it wasn't someone outside who did
someone
it.
else,
They put it together and they had footage from like the days of Mother Love Bone, the days of like all these bands that
I
came
don't know.
together and like I didn't know the band was originally called Mookie Blaylock and then they changed it to Pearl Jam. And I was watching it and I
Yeah.
was like, man, this like because most bands don't, especially in the 90s, they weren't filming everything. They filmed everything. I thought that was pretty
They
cool.
were. I watched most of the documentaries are on Tubi. I'll watch Tubi has, and some of them are real ghetto, real guerrilla radio freaking documentaries. And I've seen a couple on Pearl Jam. I remember there was one that was way back, but then I might be confusing it because there was one on Tool as well. I love Tool. Tool. I love man
Yeah.
Maynard and I love their I in high school I loved that, and it might have been that one because I confused the two because there were a couple really good ones, but I have seen a few. I don't know if I've seen that one, but you have to tell me the title, and I'm sure I'll find it. But I was just got done. What was the one I just watched just a few days ago? It was one on alternative on the grunge scene coming up. It wasn't a specific band, and it was on
Yeah.
Tubi. I was like, that's cool. Look, and it is. It's cool to hear how those grunge bands came up. And I was serving at Second Ranger Battalion when that was going on, so I was living in Tacoma in that Seattle area. So when all that was starting to kick off, that's when I was at Ranger Regiment. So it was a big deal listening to the Funky Monkey every day. That
Yeah,
was
you've
pump.
mentioned that.
Yeah, I was pumping in the battalion fitness center, and that was like, whoa, this music is freaking awesome. It's rock, but it's rap, but it's kind of not. It's these guys can
And the funny thing
sing,
is
and
like
it's like, whoa, this is I love this stuff. It's dark, but it's not dark. It was awesome, man. It was fit in with my military career at that time perfectly.
it's interesting too because like I love a lot of those bands, and at the same time, everybody knows me as like the '80s hair band guy, and that's the genre that absolutely killed that genre, you know.
Yeah, I
And I
know, I know.
remember when I worked with Dee Snider, as he said, like that's the thing with the record industry. They're like, let's just sign every band who sounds like this until we kill off the genre, and then it's something else, you know, because. I remember D was saying that. It's like, oh, because he was in Twisted Sister. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Twisted Sister sounds good. Let's sign 100 bands who sound like Twisted Sister. And then it eventually kills the genre. But like, it's actually cool to see that that stuff is back. You know, I spoke about that when Brett Lightning was on. I mean, throughout the 90s, those bands couldn't get arrested, man. And like now, I mean, you're on their accounts. Like they're filling
They're
big
killing
venues.
it.
It's cool to see.
Well, because they play their instruments and they're actually legitimate musicians, and they're 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 not doing what do you not auto tune and all the other
Playing the track.
no
There's a lot of bands. But there's so much of that now.
yeah, and that's why they're popular. That's why their popularity is coming back again because we want to hear legitimate musicians. And
Yeah,
man,
some of those
man,
bands are playing the track though.
nah,
Definitely not Vixen, but a lot of them are.
Vixen,
You'd be surprised, man. A lot of them are. When I saw Wasp, a lot of track. The one time I saw Kiss, a lot of track.
not a track. Well,
A lot of track.
see, and that's why you know more than me on, and that's why I listen to you, man. And but that's also why I don't probably go. Well, I don't go to concerts just because I don't like leaving my house because I'm a freaking old man shut in that just likes to hang out on his porch. But man, I still do love listening to that Hades hairband. I mean, my workout stuff on my iPhone. I got Def Leppard on there.
I love Def
I don't know if
Leppard.
you want to, if you can compare Pantera to a hairband, but
Originally, they were.
yeah, they were you got Metallica, of course, got to have them on there.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Queensryche.
just bought this. I know this is Alternica, right? The 90s anniversary edition of Load.
Oh,
This is really cool, man. They just put this out. So it's just funny since you
yeah,
mentioned Metallica. If you are a fan of physical media, pick this up.
that's cool.
This is the Load. They have it on vinyl. Yeah, it's got outtakes. Oh my God. I love when, I mean, I still love buying physical media. I always will. I'll never stop. I'm not on any of that streaming stuff. I'll always pick up physical
Well, it
media.
is. It's cool. It's just like me. I still like to collect baseball and football cards. I like to have
Yeah.
something. And it is collectible. It's becoming more collectible,
Oh yeah.
and it will be. They're another band that I wish, and I don't know if they're around anymore, but I love, and I still listen to them. And I just was listening to them coming over the Cult. Man,
Yeah. I think
those
they are. I
guys
think they're doing stuff again.
are they? That
I
singer, you
think
would.
so.
It's just that stuff would get you motivated, and I love listening to the Cult. A lot of people don't know them. If you don't, especially now, you don't because
You
they
know
were
what I
big.
know him for was that Matt Sorum became the drummer for Guns N' Roses. That's really what I know him for.
The singer, I just loved, you know, there's singers that come on that you're like, I know that. I mean, right when they start singing, and the Colts lead singers that I don't know his name, forgive
Yeah.
me, but when I hear his voice, like, yeah, I know that is turn it up. Let's turn it up and blow out the speakers.
Yeah.
And but that's that time frame. And that's what we did in high school when that was I had my sound system in my hoopty Celica was probably worth more than my car. And we had because we would turn that up, but then also gangster rap was coming on too. So you'd have NWA on one side, and then you'd have the Cult and Def Leppard and Motley Crue on the other side, man,
Yeah.
and just blowing your speakers out. But it was a good time to grow up, man. That was a good genre, wonderful
Yeah.
genre. And
I feel like, there's still great music coming out, truthfully. I think it's just more you have to search for it now,
yeah,
But
no, I agree.
I think every era has great bands, including right now. There's a lot of newer stuff I really like. Turnstile put out an album that like I literally think is the best album I've heard in years. I would say anyone check out the new Turnstile album and you'll be blown away. And those guys are packing out venues everywhere. And they're not new, they're newer. They came about in like 2010, but they're great, man. So yeah, I don't think like this idea of like great music being dead or something. Like I look, I love the 80s stuff. I'll always love the 80s stuff, but there's still stuff coming out that I go,
No,
this is awesome.
when did Mammoth? I got that. I love that song
Yeah.
from Mammoth. When did Mammoth's not an old?
Really,
They've been
ever
recent.
since his dad died, man. Ever since Eddie Van Halen died, he did, his solo career, which has been pretty cool, man.
Well, and that jam is when I first heard like that is badass. So that's
He's
why
great. Yeah, he's
I-
super talented. He's
yeah.
able to play guitar like his dad.
Yeah. I've seen not documentaries, but I've seen shorts of Van Halen. I've watched Van
Yeah.
Halen
I
documentaries,
love
and
Van Halen.
some of the old where they'll show him he'll play. They'll just do a Wolfgang. We'll show him when he was
Yeah.
younger, and they'll show him playing like his dad. And man, who can compare to Eddie Van Halen? Man, but
He's the
but
greatest.
Wolfgang has got some dexterity just like his dad. But Eddie is the great. My opinion, yeah, Eddie is the greatest.
Did you hear the song he did about his dad, Distance? I mean, that's a great song. I
I
feel
haven't.
like
I'll look it. I'll check it out when I
it's a
get out
very
here.
it's the type of song because I know you've been known to cry to a song a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That song will make you tear up. It definitely will. It does for me. Even the video of footage of him as like 5-year-old boy with his dad. There's a ton of that footage in there. It'll make you tear up, that song.
I like
and
it.
I saw him.
Like it.
I saw him pretty like actually Thanksgiving. I saw Creed three Doors Down and him at MSG.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
that's a hell of a lineup. Three Doors Down, man. I'll cry to some Three Doors Down too, and then I'll
Yeah.
get motivated. And Creed too. That's the grunge thing. That's that time frame, man. Creed.
Creed is cool again. Like I feel like people your son's age are into Creed now.
I hope so because they were awesome. It just is it Scott
Yeah, not Scott Weiland, Scott Stapp.
Stapp. It's just he didn't he have issues with the bottle and he
He had
was trying
issues
to
with
get
a lot.
us
I think he had
a lot of
issues with
stuff.
mental health more than anything. I mean, I remember when I was working at Sirius at the time when he was calling his son's school saying there was like bomb threats from ISIS and all. He was off his medication and now he seems to be great. So whatever he was going through, he seems to be in a good place now. Thank God,
Yeah, it is. That was a big album that got me through Ranger Battalion.
Which one? Human Clay or
what was the very first one?
oh, My Own Prison.
My Own Prison. Yep. And
Yeah.
I still have the CD. I still have
Yeah.
tons of CDs. They're tucked away just like my baseball cards. I saved them all because I know they're going to be worth something. But it's just awesome to have it. I mean, I've got all the Creed CDs, and then right next to that, I got the Gap Band. I love the Gap Band. I love
Gap
old
Band's
R&B.
good. You dropped the bomb on me.
It did. I love that song. But that's it. You'll go in there and you'll see a CD from a group called The System. If you follow old R&B, that's it. System, and then you'll see Creed, and then you'll see Tool one, and then you'll see what's another Bell Biv DeVoe right next to that.
Yeah,
But I have
I'm the
tons
same
of
way. I'm
CDs.
all
Yeah.
over the place. I
Yeah, me
really
too.
like, and if I'm driving around, you'll hear Slayer, and then you'll hear Britney Spears, and that I have no problem with
No
that.
problems. No,
Yeah,
no
what I was
problem.
gonna make sure we hit also, just because I put something up about it, it'll be after, but the day that we're recording this episode would be the 50th birthday of Glenn Bub Doherty. So
Yeah.
I feel like we
Yeah.
gotta acknowledge that. I mean, he's a guy who's
Well, he's
always
a
celebrated
hero,
in the
dude.
show.
Well,
Yeah.
he's a hero. He's for those that don't know, he did. He saved lives. He saved. We would have lost Dave and Oz if him and this the Juris team from Tripoli hadn't figured out how to get that executive. And it was an oil executive's jet. I know I've said this 8 million times for any new listeners. The movie didn't embellish it. The movie didn't try to make it more. Bigger than what it was. It
Yeah.
was an oil executive's jet. And something that I learned on this show from his best friend Sean Lake, who's the owner of Bub's Naturals, Bub's, and
Yeah.
is a great freaking dude in his own right.
Yes.
I didn't know that Bub spent 20K of his own money to get that plane. He was later reimbursed from what Sean said because Sean went to the
Or the
agency.
family was,
The
right?
family
So, yeah.
was, yeah.
And by the way, I just want to make sure before I forget, 55th birthday. I said 50,
55th. He's as
55th,
old
yeah.
as old as my old ass. But
Wow, that's
but
wild.
I know, but it's just it's amazing that it just the selfless service, not just his mind and body and spirit, which he gave up willingly, but I mean, it's like I got 20 grand. Yeah, go ahead, take it, CIA. I got to get that plane. And why the CIA couldn't put it out of their own damn pocket? That's a whole nother argument. But that just says the kind of person he was. And then being the only one he was. Everybody that came in, there were four other Juris guys, the two Delta Force guys, and we had a combat terp that came from Tripoli. Great guy. He was a great guy too. But Bub was the only one that did come up to the rooftops to help us, and that says a lot of his fearlessness, man. The dude
Yeah.
was incredible, and he was funny. I mean, he was the only one. I've said it on the most shows multiple times. He was the only one that would watch parody movies with me when we both worked in Tripoli. And one I remember specifically is watching Black Dynamite together, and everybody left the room because we were the only two laughing. But that's the kind of guy he was. He's just a wonderful individual, and he is a hero, and he should be remembered every year. And I hope I will do it until the day I die. I'll make sure that I let people know, and I hope you do too. But it's as we get older, we do tend to forget more. So I hope other people out there in the younger generation remembers for us as we age and our minds start to drift a little bit. So, but yeah, happy
Yeah.
birthday, Bub. God bless you, bro. And I know you're doing wonderful things up there in heaven. So
Absolutely. I mean, I've mentioned it on the show before, but for people who don't know, it's like just such a weird coincidence that I did meet
yeah,
the guy. Like I met the guy for 5 minutes, and then a month later, this whole thing happened. So before I ever met Chris, before any of this, man, it's just. But yeah, rest in peace, Glenn Doherty. And I also know, that from the funeral, it wasn't a funeral; it was a celebration of life. So he
yeah.
would want to be celebrating his birthday rather than when he passed away.
He'd
So
be drinking a beer on a beach, and him and Sean would probably go surf a couple waves, and then
yeah.
they come and drink more beer on the beach, and they just would enjoy each other. Man, they just enjoy hanging out. I can just see him and Sean. I'd be like, nah, I'm going back to my room, guys. But yeah, I could see them probably just sitting out there till the next morning. Just
Yeah, from like the little that I know, it does seem like he was the life of the party. That
yeah,
that was him. So yeah, man. And then the other thing I want to mention before we get to this Andrei Arlovski interview is that Tim Kennedy has come
yeah.
out and admitted to something that's been speculated on for quite a long time, that he has lied and embellished his service. I'll read the statement here because I have it printed out. He put it up everywhere. And he says, I want to take full and unequivocal responsibility for a serious mistake. Over the years, I made public statements and gave interviews in which I unintentionally misstated aspects of my military service. I'm going to read this whole thing, but I'm just going to commentate on one thing. Maybe I'll interrupt again at some point. But when he says unintentionally misstated, this just sounds like press BS to me. Like
I,
you don't unintentionally misstate aspects of
I,
your service. There
I,
will never be a time that you go, I won, I was awarded this, and you never did it. So it was intentional. I don't think you could say unintentional. That
I think
doesn't just
that well, to me that's a PR person. That
yes.
I bet you I bet you he wrote it the way he
I just
probably
yeah, I don't
honestly wrote
like
it. And
that. But
I think a PR person got in there and said, "Nah, we."
I
So
don't know, but I'm going to keep going. But I call BS on the unintentional. No, you were intentional when you said it. So anyway, most notably, I implied directly or indirectly that I had been awarded the Bronze Star with Valor. That is not true, and there's no excuse for it. I never received that honor, and I deeply regret ever suggesting otherwise. That kind of recognition is sacred. It represents extraordinary courage under fire acts that risk or cost lives. To those who truly earned it and to the families and brothers in arms, I offer my sincere and direct apology. What I said disrespected your service, and I take full ownership of that. I was young when I stepped into the public eye, and while I wasn't prepared for the scrutiny or pressure that came with it, that doesn't absolve me. I should have known better. Integrity is not situational, and I failed to uphold the standards I claim to represent. To the military and veteran community, especially those who have served in combat or lost people they love, I am deeply sorry. I know I've let many of you down. You had every right to expect more from me, and I didn't live up to that. This apology is not the end, it's the beginning. I am committed to rebuilding trust through honest reflection, visible accountability, and ongoing service to the community I misrepresented myself to. I will no longer speak about my service in a way that elevates me beyond what I actually did. From now on, my words will be guided by truth, humility, and respect. I understand that words alone don't heal disappointment or restore trust. Only time and action will. Thank you to those who have held me accountable. I will do my best to honor that accountability from this point forward. Tim Kennedy, I'll let you give your take on it, but it's just one thing I will say, man, like prior to working with SOFREP, truth be told, I never even heard of stolen valor. It was not something in my vernacular, right?
sure.
And I still think the public holds the military in a very high regard, right? And I see that when I go to Islander games or Met games and they honor someone in the crowd, and it's a bigger applause for them than for the players
Sure.
themselves. But I will say, I think guys in the public figure realm in the military, and it's probably going to impact people like you, are losing a lot of credibility when this has happened multiple times. Guys in government, guys in,
No, it
fighting
is
like
right.
him and do podcasts. And truthfully, right, there's probably going to say, well, if this guy lied, how do I know these guys aren't lying about Benghazi? How do I know they're not like, it just the same way. How do we view politicians? Well, they're all a bunch of liars because we've heard lies from so many of them, and it screws over everybody. And I just think I, I don't understand it because yes, everybody has lied about something in their lives to some extent, right? No one has been 100% truthful all the time probably in their life. But I don't know, man. I've never had the desire to lie about something like this. It's very strange to me, man. It reminds me of like that comedian Steve Renazzisi who said I was there on 9/11 and he wasn't there on 9/11. And he'll always be remembered as the guy who lied about 9/11. And to me, Tim Kennedy, regardless of a great fight career, and I've interviewed him, he's a great guy, like, but regardless of a great fight career, the stuff he's done in the public figure space, truthfully, I think from here on out, and it's been like this for a year, so it's not like he just came out after this happened. This has been ongoing, right? And he's finally done this. I think he'll always be known as the stolen valor guy from now on. And
Well,
that sucks, but like you kind of made that bed. And if you would have written this a year ago, I don't know how long this has been going on, but we've all heard about this. If you would have nipped this in the bud early on, but to me, this just seems like it's probably impacted your career in such a negative way that you waited until you had to address this and you had to
and
apologize. And I
yeah.
look, there's I'm not a guy, I'm not a military member. I'm not someone who's ever received these awards. So it's not me to be like, I don't accept your apology. This doesn't impact me. But for guys who actually have received that honor, I could understand them being like, I have no respect for this guy. I get that.
No, it is being in a public figure. I get it. I get the need, or not the need. It's how can I explain this? And it's hard because you do have the veterans. You do have veterans that have great service. You have veterans out there, and then you have the veterans that are public figures that are in this world that guys, if you haven't been in there, it's hard to explain, and you can get caught up to where somebody may embellish something for you, and you just go with it, and then it
That's
just
not the case
steamrolls.
for this, though.
But
He
that's what
said it. He personally said this.
and that's where, or you step on your dick, and it just keeps going, and you don't know how to stop it, or you know how to stop it, but you don't for some reason, and that almost happened to me on that HD Vision commercial.
Yeah, I know you're going to bring. I had a feeling you were going to bring
remember
that.
that?
But that's someone
Oh, I'm not
getting
defending.
something wrong.
I'm not
No,
defending.
but I
Yeah,
wouldn't put
I'm
you in
not
the same
defending.
category because someone got something wrong about your background
that-
and they put it in a commercial.
Well, that's where immediately stepped. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna go sideways quick. And an SF guy hit me up right there. I mean, no shit. I got hit up, blasted by some dude. He was a douche. But I was like, hey man, I didn't do that. And I called the people. I like, you got to fix this now because that's how serious it is. So I agree with you. No, I'm not defending him. I agree with you. That's how serious it is if you let it go like this. Now you got to stop that burn right there. And that's one of the reasons why I did the Ranger Way. It's because people are like, hey, you deployed with Ranger Battalion. You retired. You're like, no, I fucked up, and that's going to get out. So you know what? The old clear and present danger. Get on top of it before, and if people like you for it or they hate you for it, you're going to be honest. But you put it out there and you let the chips fall where they may. That's not what happened here. Obviously, he didn't. He should have.
But I can't compare the two because he created this. No one
you're
came
right.
out and said
You're
you
right.
were awarded this medal.
You're
He
right.
said I was awarded the Bronze Star.
There's a Bronze Star with valor.
with valor.
Yeah,
It's not someone who got his biography wrong. Like I remember when Jack Murphy and Brandon Webb went on Wilcow and Deneen Borelli was hosting, and she said, "I'm here with Jack Murphy and Brandon Webb, and they're Navy SEALs." Right? And Jack's like, "No, I wasn't. A
No, I
Navy
wasn't.
SEAL." That's not his fault. I've never heard either those guys
No, right.
lie about something like this is just someone truthfully, right? Like it's nothing personal because the interviews I've had with the guy were good, but like this is just someone being a liar. This would be no different than me saying I served in the military.
And it does hurt. It hurts the veterans. It hurts the military community. Just like when we had Rob on, and I said, Rob, dude, you are the one of the people that are the top of even the public figure military guys. You can't be out there drinking and setting that example because it reflects on all of us. And you're spot on. This reflects on all of us. It creates distrust in the veteran community and the veteran community that's out on the social media world, which when you're in there, you got to hold yourself even to a higher standard than just somebody that isn't, because people are going to try to pick and find that chink in that armor. And if you have lied like he did, they're going to find out. You can't hide it.
Why do you think people feel the need to like? I don't get it. Like I think when Dick Blumenthal, and we talked about it, ran for senator of Connecticut, right? And he's still the senator of Connecticut, and he said, "I'm a Vietnam veteran." And he wasn't a Vietnam veteran, right? He was Vietnam. And to me, this is the same thing. But to me, that was probably done with, hey, I could get the votes of the Vietnam veterans. Like, I think Tim Kennedy, if he never lied about this, is looked at as like a G.I. Joe type figure. He's an MMA fighter. He's a Green Beret.
He didn't need to.
looks-
That's the thing. He didn't need to lie about
Yeah,
it. He's
he
already
looks
got
like
the
a
charisma.
G.I. Joe
He
type
does.
guy.
He does.
Like
He does.
I don't think any civilian, as a civilian, I don't even know what these awards mean, right? Like that's the truth. Only veterans know what these awards really mean for the most part, unless you're like a true military buff. So I think you have to have something mentally wrong with you.
Well, I can tell you why, because and you're right. I wanted to say that Tim is a acquaintance friend. We're friends. We're not
Yeah.
best friends. We don't hang out, but he's a dude that's been always cool with me. And I'm saying, hey, dude, what's going on? High five. Have a great day. So I'm not here to bash him, and I'm not going to. It's not. He made a mistake, huge mistake, and take it for what it's worth on his letter if he offering that apology. He didn't need to. He'd been to special forces. He'd been to Ranger School. Maybe he never served in combat with the unit he was, but he was on an ODA. He's an MMA fighter. He didn't have to do this. So why did he? Because he already had enough credibility. He didn't need any more. there is something that I think a lot of us have, and I'm saying us because I'm one. There is that narcissism. We do what we do. We do it for our country, but we do it a lot for ourselves. And when you're putting it up on even a higher pedestal, you're thinking to yourself, man, this feels great. My ego just got pumped up even more. Do we need it? But do we even need it to be pumped up any more than that? No. And then we just let it go because we think to ourselves, well, nobody's ever going to find out. And guys, I no stolen valor over here, guys. Go read Ranger Way. Go see my posts on Twitter where people are, you'll see everything. There's nothing out there that y'all don't know. And believe me, I put it out there how many screw-ups I have, but what I'm getting at is when somebody does it, and if you don't correct it right away, you get that good rush of, wow, man, these guys are giving me high fives for something I didn't do. They're never going to find out. I'll just go with it. And that's a mistake. And if you don't nip it in the bud right then this is what happens. It just continues to spin out. And then you find yourself at a time where it just continues to steamroll and steamroll. And you're like, how do I stop this without blowing up my career? Because now my career depends on this. Now my career depends on the speaking events, the endorsements, the promotions. And this is part of me getting those promotions and endorsements was this lie right here. If I give that up, I've lost everything. But you got to understand that integrity has a price and you're putting that price on it. And if you don't stop it, that's why I gave that example with the HD Vision. If you don't stop it right there, even if it's somebody else's mistake, it's going to catch up to you. And this is what's happened. And now he's paying the price. And, I don't want to say I feel sorry for him. I don't, it was his doing. I'm happy that at least he did this. This is at least a step, maybe in the right direction. Now he's just going to have to weather the storm, and hopefully he comes out well on the other side. But I think that's the only reason I can give an explanation why, Ian, is it's an ego. It's an ego thing, and it feels good to. If somebody says, "Hey, Tano, you got your stereo scrolls. How's it feel to get your Rangers basically a combat scroll on one side?" And I've been asked like, guys, I didn't. I was a peacetime ranger. That was it. And in fact, I was a junior ranger. I've said it on this show. I'm a junior guy because I didn't want this to happen where it just kind of spun out of control. And I went.
Well, also, you're just not a guy who lies.
No, well, I used to. Well, my wife will tell you. But no, not in this because first of all, we are held to a higher standard. And if you are a ranger, you live by that creed, morally straight. You try to. We all make mistakes, guys. Everybody's a sinner out there. Nobody's perfect. And because I also know that what's happening right now could happen. So you have to be. And I'm out there in the public figure world. I'm out there that I still get attacked. Just like those douchebags from that podcast that attacked us for what?
But they were right. They were right about this one.
But they were right on this one.
I mean, because he's 100% saying, yeah, this never happened.
If you throw spaghetti on a wall, at least something's going to stick.
But like I said, there's going to be the people that are be like, this guy lied. This guy, like, it
hurts. It hurts all of it. It does hurt.
It's the same way we think about Bush lied about this, Clinton lied about this. They're all liars. How many of us think about that say that all the time, right? So,
you just have to, and I say this to all the rest of especially the public figure veterans that are coming out, the service members, you hold yourself to a standard when you're in. If you're going to get into this world, this public figure world, you have to hold yourself even to a higher standard because people are always trying to dig to see what they can get on you because that's going to get the clicks. That's going to get them.
I can't relate that to this though because this is 100% his own.
It is his fault, and that's the.
I can't compare the two. I really can't, man, because it's like if someone got something wrong about him and he never corrected it, that would be totally different. He just came out with it.
Well, I guess my instinct then is so don't lie. Don't lie about.
Like I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you an example involving me. That's kind of silly. It has nothing to do with stolen valor.
No, but
if you read Brandon Webb's book, I'm actually trying to remember the name of the book. I can't even remember. It was the one with the yellow cover. Anyway, he mentions me in the book, and I think his co-writer wrote this. I don't know, but he says I hooked up with Ian Scotto, who had like this career in radio, and he worked with Larry King. I never worked with Larry King. If I met him, that was it. If anybody ever said I worked with Larry King, I would say no, I didn't. Well, it's in this book. I had nothing to do with that book. I mean,
You know,
that's not my fault.
I,
I didn't have anything to do with the book. But this is 100% him. If I went on this show and said I did things I never did, I have no one to blame but myself.
that's just it's narcissism and it's ego.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that. And you will pay the price down the road. You're gonna pay the price. You can't hide it. We've said on the show, you can't hide anything in this world anymore. There's nothing you can do. So you might as well get it out there, even the bad stuff, and just hope.
Yeah, I wish he would have. If he, the reason I think I have no respect for it, if I'm being honest, and like I said, I've interviewed the guy, great experiences with the guy. If he ever wanted to come on and talk about this, more than welcome to,
Of course,
right? But
of course.
but I'm just being completely candid. I can't respect it because of how late this was. If
I
he
got
would have
you.
done this early on in the game, I think what this is this has hurt his career so much, and there's so much evidence of it. He has to because
Yeah.
I even saw Tim Kennedy recently stepped in on that show, The Fighter and the Kid, hosted by Brendan Schaub and wow, why am I forgetting his name? Brian Cowan. And yeah, he was in with Brendan Schaub because the other guy was on a cruise or whatever. And if you look at the comments section when Tim Kennedy's on, it's all, oh, he's the stolen valor guy. He's the guy who lied about his service. And that's what he's known about. Now, no matter what he does,
Yeah.
the comments are, oh, he's the stolen valor guy. So I think it's just gotten so bad. He's like, all right, I have to address it now. This would be like, I think, if you cheated on your wife and then you said this never happened for years and years, and then like 5 years later,
yeah.
you were like, I'm coming clean. You know that like there's just a big difference, man. If he would have
No, you're
said,
right. You're right. No, you're right.
and
You're
like I
right.
said, it was that guy Steve Renazzisi, if you remember,
Yeah.
he was doing sitcoms. I don't even remember what sitcom. Big comedian. He was on top of the world. And when this all came out, he did Howard Stern to talk about it. That for some reason he felt the need to say, I was there when 9/11 happened. And he repeatedly said, I was there for 9/11. And I think more and more came out that he wasn't even living here. He was, you know, and he eventually had to say, I lied about this. It felt good to tell people I had this connection with New York City that I don't. And I'm sorry. And guess what? I don't think his career will ever revive. If I ever see that name, Steve Renazzisi, I don't know what sitcom he was on. I don't know any of his comedy. I just know him as the guy who lied about
Good
being
line.
there at 9/11. Richard Blumenthal, the senator from Connecticut, I'll always know him as the guy who said I was a Vietnam veteran, and he wasn't a Vietnam veteran. Like, and I don't know, man. I think he's kind of done for at this point. Maybe his career will be revived in some way, and it sucks because he's an extremely accomplished guy. People dream about being MMA fighters,
Yeah.
Green Berets, and you know, doing all the cool public figure stuff he's done.
And he
Just
got in
kills it.
he got in so early that he would have got it regardless. Because at the time that he joined, there wasn't a lot out there. There was him and who's the TAC P, Mike Jones, Garan Thumb, that guy. You know, there were guys like that. That there wasn't a lot of guys doing that public figure stuff when he did. So he did. It is. It's just. It is a. Yeah, you're right. It is a mental issue. It's an ego thing. It's you're not being able to accept and be happy with what you've accomplished, and you're looking for more, and there's no reason to. No, you're right. He's going to reap what he sows. Buddy, I'm not apologizing for him at all. It's not acceptable.
No,
it's
I
completely
all,
unacceptable.
my only point and why I'm, you know, there's probably people who can destroy me in the comments. I don't care.
No,
But
no,
the
no.
reason I'm, I don't care if they do. But I just think what happened to you, where they said you did something that you didn't do on a commercial, is in no way comparable to someone who came out and said yeah. To me, this isn't maybe as bad, but this is like Wayne Simmons, who was regularly on Fox News and said, I was in the CIA and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and he wasn't. That guy 100% made up this, and this is the same thing. It wasn't that someone got this wrong and that he continued to go with it. He created
He
this.
created
This is
the
what
problem.
he said. This is what he said was his biography, or his,
And it,
you know.
it is unacceptable. And hopefully this is a lesson learned. I hope I hope he continues to come out with honest and show integrity and show some remorse. And you know, could this have been even better done as a video? Yeah, I'll be honest. If the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't be writing it. I'd be like, hey guys, come on in. Let's talk about it. All right, you're gonna hate me, but this I really do. I think you could see some sincerity, and there needs to be sincerity. Handwritten statements are great, but like you said, you read that one section there. You're like, man, that doesn't sound. And so you've already lost anybody that you possibly could have come in to accept your apology. You've lost it because right there, it kind of admit you're right. I'm
Yeah,
agree
but
with you.
I don't think there's anything he could have done.
You don't think
No, because he went on for years with
he
this
won for years?
lie.
Yeah, I'm trying to be the silver lining guy here, and you're killing me here. To
Yeah,
show
I'm giving you my
You are-
genuine opinion.
That's us, man.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that's good. That's us. I usually it's the other way around. No, we go back and forth with this. Sometimes you're the just silver lining. I'm like, but in this case, I am. I'm not defending him. I guess
Well, can I put it this way? And
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
know I keep interrupting. I think this is because you like the guy. Because here's a
I feel
genuine question.
I feel sorry for him.
Well,
I feel
here's the
sorry
thing.
for
When Richard Blumenthal, the senator from Connecticut, Democrat, and you are not a liberal, right, said I was a Vietnam veteran.
Piece of
did
shit.
You have? Did
No,
you have
hell
sympathy?
no.
How
No,
is
hell
this any
no.
different? These guys are both veterans who made
I-
stuff up about their service.
In my case here, you're right because of a personal relationship. Which again, we're not best buddies or nothing.
Yeah.
It's just we used to see each other at the trade shows, and we'd go, and it'd be like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" So you're right. No, there is. I think that's normal. That's human. Him being, being from the community is something as well. Also, I worry. I don't want to blast. In this case,
You don't want to kick a
I-
boys down. I got
oh
you.
no, I don't. Now if he and I do take things. I do give people. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt if you're respectful to me. If you're a dick to me, then no, I am gonna kick you. And he always has been. I think that's it. I think if it was somebody that had tried to kick me when I was down, or a politician who was still calling Benghazi liars, then yeah, if I eat a dick. No, but in this case, he's never been that way. So I'm trying to I'm trying to be that sergeant. It's like, hey, dude, you really fucked up. You screwed up, dude. All right, this first step, I'm gonna pick you up. Let's see if you can keep moving. And because but in this case, you have valid arguments too, and I can't argue against what you're saying because you're right as well. So I guess I'm not going to blast him, not on this, not here. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this first one. All right, he tried. Is it sincere? The letter sincere? I don't know. I don't think so. Did he screw up royally? Yes. Should you have done that? No way. No way in hell should you ever have said anything like that. But you know what? Here's your second chance. Let's see how it goes. And you guess what? It's going to be an up. It's like I'm talking to him as a sergeant, as a leader, or a lieutenant, or a captain. This is going to be an uphill battle. There may not be any chance for victory in this one, but you're going to keep grinding. And you're going to try to fight on, and you're going to try to win over these people's respect, not the public figure side, just respect, because you destroyed you're destroying the community by what you did. That's the bigger picture. It's like you're right on. He is. They're going to see that, and they're going to like, well, what about everybody else? And that's no bueno, man. That's you're
And it's
you're buddy
unfortunately,
fucker.
there's so many guys in the public figure realm who have
Now.
lied about things.
Yeah.
Because I'm even thinking, I always try to talk about the positive and the negative, right, of everybody. But like we've celebrated Chris Kyle on this show, and we've had both the authors who worked on his book with him on this show. And I remember when we talked to Jim DeFelice, Jim will say, and I think he's right on this. He says everything we put in the book is 100% accurate, and I stand by the book. And the problems were things that he said that had nothing to do with the book. When he said, like, I was at the Superdome shooting looters during Hurricane Katrina, and there doesn't seem to be any record of that ever happening. Does that mean Chris Kyle isn't a guy who should be celebrated? No, because he did amazing things. But I just don't know why there's
But
so
why
many
do you
guys
need
in
to?
the
Yeah.
public. I don't know why there's so many guys in the public figure realm where this has happened, where inaccuracies with Marcus Luttrell, and and it sucks because the guys I know in the public figure realm, like especially you, Jack Murphy, Dave Park, like they go out of their way to not.
I try to downplay.
I even think of like when we had Phil Labonte on the podcast, and it's like, hey, you were a Marine, man. Tell us about your time in the Marines, and he'll always be like, I did nothing.
Like Phil, like Otto, man. just
Yeah,
pulling
yeah.
to get a story
Yeah,
out
yeah.
where he's driving down the road hammering people in it was a Basra or Bakuba. He's like, yeah, it's no big thing. Like, dude, come on, I've been there, man. Yeah, yeah, but
There's
you're
so many guys
right.
we've on the show like that
Yeah.
who go, I didn't really do anything. These guys are real heroes or something. And like to me, those are actually tend to be the guys who did the most. Sometimes those are the guys like the guys who will say, I didn't do anything, and then you get a story out of them, and you're like, "Dude, that was amazing,
Well,
man." So the
the
guys I
saying
respect are the ones who like downplay what they did.
the saying of it's usually the quiet one is usually
Yeah.
right. Usually right. Except in my case, because I'm fucking loud regardless. But I think you do have to, and for those new ones that are coming up and want to be in this, and I think you don't have a choice anymore. I think this is really where it's going. Is you're going to see a lot more veterans out there. Is you do want to downplay it, man. You should be humble. You should stay have some humility in it. And it is but coming back to why they do it, it's narcissism, dude. It's an ego, and all of us have egos. We all do. Don't even think that you don't. If you've been in the community, in the special operations community, in any facet, Delta, Ranger, Task Force, TF 160, being on an ODA, been a CCT, been a PJ. We do a lot because it's an ego thing. It is. It's but
I
but you
I
have
do
to
feel
but
like
you have to find humility in it as well. There has to be that equalization of humility, and I think that's where those guys that do embellish, they lose that humility when
Yeah, I was
you.
just gonna say, I think we've had guys on the show who I really think have very little ego. Like just being honest, actually, you mentioned one, Phil Otto. I don't see a huge ego there with that guy or Todd Apowski. Like these are some of the most humble guys I know, and
I guess let me put it this way: the ego is always there, but it's portrayed into narcissism, or it's moved into the category of narcissism, which we're seeing with Tim, or it's moved into confidence, quiet confidence, which
yeah,
is Phil Otto. So we all have egos. We wouldn't do it if we didn't want to have something to prove to ourselves, because you're not going to make it through if
sure.
you don't have something to prove to yourself, because it's your body that's hurting. Like, man, I'm gonna push it on and I'm gonna get through because I hate having eaten in 3 months or slept 2 hours in 30 days because I want to make it for this guy. No, it's for this guy right here. But then once you do it, you're exactly right. Does that ego trend go over into the narcissism side, or does it move over to the quiet confidence side, or just the confidence side with some humility? The majority of guys, it comes this way. It does.
Yeah.
And the reason I can say this is because you don't know a lot of them, and you
Yeah.
don't, because
I even think of like here's an example, right, of a guy who I think doesn't have a huge ego, Dave Park. And Dave has so little of an ego that when people say you're a combat veteran,
He's
it bothers him.
oh yeah,
Because he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, I wasn't a combat veteran. I served in combat as a contractor. Now, I don't think anyone would fault him if he called himself a combat veteran,
I know.
but he is
I remember
so
that, yeah.
insistent that to get this accurate
And that's the
and doesn't want to
humility.
be accused of that. Yeah. So
And that's the humility that a lot of the majority of us have. We do. I have some humility, guys, sometimes. But guys like Dave, that's your guy. That is 75% of them are Dave Park. They have the humility. They'll fucking shoot you in the face and they will destroy you when it's time to go, But when it's done, you would never have any idea. You wouldn't even know. Like, yeah. I mean, who gets sucker punched with a fucking rock?
Yeah.
And what do you have, a rock? And he still fights the dude off. And it's like, it's no big
Yeah.
deal. It's like,
Yeah, that's true. Exactly.
Come on, it's
Yeah.
like, come on, Captain America. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. But thankfully, 75 to 80% of the guys are like that.
Yeah.
And then you get guys like me that are right there in the middle, because I'm outspoken just because I like to parody the tough guys. That was my thing. It was to me, I love doing it because I love being an obnoxious jerk sometimes. But then you have the too far, which is
Yeah.
what Tim did and what he was, and the embellishment, where that's the narcissism. And that's, I guess, it's where operators and operators who go in the public figure world, they have to balance that. And it's easy. It really is easier than you think, guys, to go this way. But majority of guys they won't. They're going to stop it. They're going to, like, nope. Like Dave, no fucking no. I didn't deploy. Stop telling me. I mean, I wasn't a combat vet. And I defended him on Extra, like,
Yeah.
dude, come on, dude. And then I was like, dude, I don't give a shit. Dude, this is a stupid argument. But anyway, who cares? You got into combat. I don't give a shit if you were a veteran or your service is combat. But in this case, yeah, he let it go when he could have stopped it. And I am in complete agreement with everything that you said. I'm just being the good guy in this particular because I don't want to see this go to where he loses everything and all of a sudden.
No, of course, yeah.
And
I of
nobody
course
wants
wouldn't want
it.
to see that.
And nobody
And I
wants
think
to
the
see
fact
that.
that he put this out himself, says that he's
Says
probably
he's
in a
trying to
good enough
heal.
place that he could say,
And
come clean about this.
I guess that's also why I'm not kicking him when he's down because to me
Yeah.
it's as a captain or if I was in charge, if I was his NCO or his OIC, or I'd be like, okay, this is the first step,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
ain't
you
gonna be
have to.
easy.
Yeah, you have to. And yeah, maybe he will do something that will revive him from this in some way. I'll tell you real quick, actually, before we get to the Andre interview, my funny story with Tim, because I interviewed Tim about, I think 3 times. Am I stolen valor if I don't have the number right? No, I multiple times.
I'm gonna go
I know
back and
that.
check, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna look, man. That was only 1.5 times because you left the show midway.
So the funny thing was when I did soft rep, every now and again, Jack wouldn't be there, Brandon wouldn't be there, and Drew wouldn't be there, and it would be like I would call Jim West, especially for someone like Tim Kennedy, and I was like, "This is perfect."
There's another dude that's a bad. It's you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So and Jim trained. I don't know if it was more than one guy. I know he trained one of the early UFC fighters. So Jim has been involved in UFC since very early on. He's trained boxers. I mean, he. There's no one who likes fighting more than Jim.
Yeah.
So it was like this is a
He's
natural.
badass.
Yeah, I was like, this is a natural thing to have Jim on with me interviewing Tim. So yeah, we interviewed Tim Kennedy. I think it was fight week. I don't remember who he was fighting at the time. And Jim is asking him a lot of technical stuff, and he knows fighting. So Tim, I could tell his mind is kind of elsewhere during the interview because he says, "Oh, I'm home with my kid. We're kicking around the soccer ball. He's having fun with this." And I could tell he's not very focused on the interview. He's focused on hanging out with his kid, which to me, it's like, why even do the interview? Just hang out with your kid. You don't have to do interviews. So we had a good interview with him. It was fine. And then when we got off, I remember, because we did it by phone, I remember Jim called me about an hour later. And he was like, I don't know, man. He's like, I think he's about to get his ass kicked. He's like, it's fight week. He's laughing, having fun with his kid. He's like, you got to be focused. You got to be angry. He's like, he's not going to get in there. He's like, he just seems like he's carefree. And sure enough, man, he lost that fight. Like, Jim knows fighting, man. And I could tell, like, if Jim had to fight, he's not having fun that week, And I think to hear that, he was just like, I guarantee you this guy fighting him is training harder right now if he's out kicking a soccer ball with his kid during an interview. And by and large, anytime I've heard Jim comment on a big fight and give his predictions, he's been right almost every time. He knows his stuff, man. So
yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's a cool story. And Jim's a badass, man. I think I haven't talked to him in a long time.
I did a couple months ago because every now and again I feel bad that I haven't seen him, and I'm like, "What's going on, man?" And I'll call him on the phone. So
yeah, what's he doing? What's he up to?
He seems to be doing good. I know he moved out of New Jersey. I don't remember where though, but he's still in the area. He's still in the Northeast, or it might be in like maybe Virginia or something like that. But still working for the main company that he does, and he does well. So yeah, seems to be doing good. I know that actually this might, to keep it vague, it sounds like his son, who was in with us when I was in studio, son might have gotten into a little bit of trouble that he was taken care of. And that was his son who was like the kid who was not getting in trouble and not taken after Jim West. So,
he didn't. Maybe he just punched a kid in the face at school because he wasn't going to take any crap.
I don't think it was something like that.
Days.
No, because he's a little bit older now. I think he just got, according to Jim, it sounds like he may have gotten involved in like a wrong crowd type situation. But Jim seems to still be doing good, man. And
good.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, when he was in New York City, I'd see him pretty regularly. But yeah, I'd have him back on at some point. So
bring him on. I love talking to him.
Yeah.
No, and this was a good to talk about. I think it's very. It should be something that we should talk about on the show. And like what either of us said or not, regardless, I think we're both right in some aspects, and I think we're both on the same wavelength. And it just don't. There's no reason to embellish your service, guys. If you're a veteran out there and you served, I'm telling you, and Ian will tell you right now, that is respectful enough. And then if
Oh
you've
yeah.
moved on to do long tab or ranger school and you moved to do or you deployed one time, who gives a shit, man? Being
Yeah.
away from home, that's a hard freaking deployment. And you should be proud of that. And I don't have any medals, guys. I was a junior ranger. I mean, I got sick. I got medically discharged. You can read about in the Ranger Way. You want to read it? Go
Yeah.
by the hey, do me a favor. Go by the Ranger Ways. I'll sign it for you. But but that's the thing is shit happens sometimes, and there's no reason to say you did more than what you did because what you did was more than a lot of people did. You signing up and going, you sacrificed part of your life, and it was hard, and you should be proud of that. And man, yeah, I really wish I had a better answer for you on why. And I could just tell you, just from me, my experience, just personally, I think it just is a fucking ego thing, and you just like to get your head gassed up, and you just why he lied. I don't. That's the only reason I could think, bud. And it was
Yeah.
wrong. It was wrong. And just so the community out there knows, there are ones that do have stolen valor, but the majority of the people that serve, they don't. And so, yeah, take it for what it's worth. Don't look at veterans going like he's bullshit on his service, because that's terrible as well. But
I don't think people do, but as I said, I think the military is looked at as in a very high regard with the
it should
public.
be, and we got to
But
hold to that standard.
what I think is the public figure world of the military is starting to lose their credibility.
Well,
That's what I
and
think.
maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that is a good thing. Maybe we are too much out there. Um, if it all went away for
Don't you
me,
agree though? Like I
yeah.
think if
No,
you
I
meet a
completely agree.
random guy in the street who goes, "Hey, I served as a Marine," I don't think the average individual is questioning that.
No,
But I think when people see a book and they go, "I got this many confirmed kills. I did this and that," I think a lot of the people look at that and go, this sounds exaggerated."
no, you do, and that's why when people ask me, I remember going on shows. Sean Ryan, I'm like, "Wait, how many kills did you kill?" I don't know. They just kept coming and kept running away. I really wish I
Yeah.
knew. 40, 200, I don't know, 10. Who and does it? And it's sometimes like, does it really matter? All I knew is they just kept coming and kept running away, and the guys kept fighting, and that was what. And that's to be honest, guys. If you're going to answer quite, that's how you should. There's your 101 right there for a public figure. That's how you should answer a question because shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your awards. Doesn't matter and all that. I'm not decorated. I, but I'm blessed because I got to see the world for 10 years, and you should be proud of that. Who gives a shit for your medals? Who gives a shit for your belts? Belts are just good for keeping your pants up. What's that for? I still love that.
Oh,
But
what is that
you know,
actually?
but that is
I definitely know that, and I'm not even a movie guy. No, what is that? Oh.
but and that's how I look at when guys come with their. I mean, because I'm not. I'll have one row. I got my tab, got my scroll, got my beret, got my jump boots. I pushed myself. I blew even those 3 years, I blew my body up
Yeah.
because I'm probably doing stuff a 170-pound dude shouldn't do. But but in the end, really, what do I look at now? I could give a shit. I mean, I love my uniform. I love being a ranger, but what I look at now, and you see guys, when you do follow me on social media, if you do, I'm, I can, a picture will pop up and I'll remember. That's what's important. Or a song, a Slipknot song. Well, come on, like, man, I remember where I was at. That's more important than medals ever should be. So for all you, don't lie, dude. Don't lie. If you do, somebody does lie for you accidentally, like as we call it, like get something wrong, fix it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hey, fix it, and then just live your life, man. And
Yeah.
if you,
Even if, it's funny, like in my case that has nothing to do with stolen valor, there will always be a book out there that says I worked with
because
Larry.
because
And
you
I
did,
never did.
you liar, you worked with Larry King.
I think
Yeah.
I've told we'll get to this, but I think I've told my Larry King story because it is kind
Yeah,
of
you
funny.
did.
But
It is
yeah,
funny.
for the people who haven't heard it, I met him twice. So I was in the hallway at Sirius XM and downstairs in the lobby, and I saw Larry King. And it's like, how often are you going to meet Larry King? And so I was just like, hey, Mr. King, I love all that you do. You've inspired me. And I'm like trying to tell him this, and he kind of interrupts me, and he goes, "So you want to be a broadcaster? And I was like, well, I kind of do some stuff. And he goes, you got the voice, kid. And I was like, that's the coolest compliment I've ever
Well,
gotten
you
in my
do.
life.
You
Yeah.
do, man. I told you, you've always said day one, the first episode, I said Ian Scotto with the Barry White Quiet Storm sexy voice. He could do the Quiet Storm radio show on any R&B network, old school R&B network, and be nobody would even know. Like, man,
Yeah.
dude,
And it's
that
when you
dude's
hear
that
that from
sexy.
random people, you're like, oh, that's cool. But when you're from Larry King, I'm like, that's Larry King. So then I got to meet him again when I took that actual picture. And I actually remember I was walking around with that conservative author, Penny Nance, like very good, attractive woman. And I remember Larry King bumping into her in the hallway and going, hello, doll. Because Larry King was a ladies' man up
Well,
until
yeah,
like
because
his 90s.
wasn't he
He's
married
been
to
married
somebody
like
50
17
years?
times.
They were like always 50 years younger than him, was it? Or maybe
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Roger. 'Cause I
No,
remember
you are.
Roger
They were,
Ailes, it
yeah.
was.
And I remember like when he was on Bill Maher, Bill Maher's like, Larry, you've been married like 16 times. Like, what the hell is going on? And he was like, well, I grew up this Jewish kid in Queens, and they said, you meet a nice girl, you marry her. And it's like, yeah, but you don't marry 16 women. Like, what's going on, bro?
Hey, man, to each his own. That's to each his
Yeah.
own.
He
Well
was the
done.
best though. He was one of the great interviewers, and yet I could tell he did absolutely no prep. He barely even knew who he was interviewing, and it was always amazing.
He just is a natural, man. Just
Yeah.
like professional athletes that are naturals. Just like they're just naturals. Yeah,
But go
that's
look
cool.
up the clip of when he pissed off Jerry Seinfeld. Is one of the funniest clips.
I'll have to. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's great because he goes, like I said, he never seemed to do prep on these people. So he had Jerry Seinfeld there with him, and he goes, "So, why did your show get canceled?" And Jerry Seinfeld's like, "What are you talking about? We were the #1 show on TV. We didn't get canceled." He's like, "What are you bothered by me saying this?" And he's like, "Yeah, there's a big difference between being #1 and being canceled." And he's like, "Someone get this guy a biography like this. Do you not know who I am?" So, yeah.
That's I'll have to. Maybe we'll put that post up on there on here on the podcast.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
Funny.
It's funny.
That's funny.
But all right, man. Well, with that, we have the Andrei Arlovski interview, and I
we'll
will
beat
say,
that
you
dead
guys,
horse.
yeah, thank you so much to all of you guys once again who have been with us for 300
Thank you.
episodes, and yeah, to celebrate Andrei Arlovski. Before we get to it, Fort Scott Munitions is a manufacturer of multi-federal patented solid copper and brass CNC spun ammunition. It's designed to tumble upon impact in soft tissue, leaving devastating wound channels for faster bleed out and quicker incapacitation. This ammunition was originally developed to innovate and improve on the standard of military-grade ammunition design. It was found that not only did the TUI ammunition outperform competitors in the self-defense industry, but it quickly became apparent that it would be a top contender for hunters alike. With the ammunition being CNC spun, the tolerances are some of the tightest on the market, ensuring they receive the same results with every pull of the trigger. Fort Scott Munitions is available throughout privately owned businesses in all 50 states, but you'll get the best deal through us when you simply go to fsm.com and use the promo code BATTLELINE. You'll get 15% off most stuff on the site. So fsm.com, promo code BATTLELINE for 15% off. Only available to listeners of the Battleline podcast. Fort Scott Munitions is a proud supporter of Chris Peranto, Battleline Tactical, and the Battleline podcast for 300 freaking episodes.
I know.
So we really have to give a major, major thank you to Fort Scott. And yeah, with that, let's get over to Andrei Arlovski. Battleline podcast, always great to have on Andrei Arlovski, former UFC heavyweight champion, current fighter with bare knuckle. He's been on with us for episode 1 in 2019. Then he was on for episode 200, and we said, let's have him on for this episode 300 extravaganza. And I said this before we recorded, but I'm going to say it again. Congrats on winning your first fight with bare knuckle against Josh Copeland last month. And yeah, I know you're doing some press today because you're going to be fighting some more with bare knuckle.
Yeah, at least 1 or 2 times. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, yes.
Yeah. Hey, how'd the fight? I didn't catch the fight. I don't know if I could. Is it? I mean,
Of course not. Of course not. Of course, super busy on the range, etc. Key stuff, no doubt about. And be honest with you, I thought it's going to be fucking 1-2 rounds, but that fucking guy kept coming, and referee stopped after 4th round because of a lot of cuts. It's
Sure.
it's dangerous. One punch cut. It's last time I had a bare knuckle fight in probably like fuck, 30 years ago in high school. And you know what? Small gloves, UFC or any MMA productions, small 4-ounce gloves. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, man. What's the biggest difference? And you kind of answered it right there. But you UFC forever. You're a legend, Hall of Famer. Yeah, I can give you shit because you're my friend, but you're still a Hall of Famer, dude. Regardless whether you like to be called
Yeah,
that or
but
not. But what?
sooner or later, maybe yes.
You are, dude. You are. Come on, come on. Don't even. But what's the biggest? This first one, and my buddy, Shannon the Cannon is a good friend of mine. We worked at Blackwater, big bare knuckle guy, been doing it for a long time. But he's never done, I believe, as much UFC as you have. So, what's the biggest difference aside from the gloves, the cuts? Was the training up to it different? Are the guy? This is your. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. The training, I was on fucking vacation. Just training addiction and boxing. I love boxing. Back in 2009, I signed with Golden Boy Promotion with Oscar De La Hoya. I was supposed to have a couple fights with some boxers and have a big fight for money against Klitschko, one of the Klitschko brothers. And what I tried to do back in 2009, McGregor did,
Yeah.
whether
I remember.
what 2017, 19, whatever.
Yeah.
I supposed to do this back in 2009, and I always loved boxing, but bare knuckle, it's since God, my manager and one of his fighters and my friend Mike Perry told me from first second of the round till last second of the round, keep your fist tight. Otherwise, because all boxers can, play around, lazy jabs, open hands, they broken fucking hands. I kept training, keep fucking all the time my fist tight, and actually the shit works.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Chris when you announced the fight and everything, there seem to be some pretty big names who are involved in bare knuckle now because and part of it is the fact that I got into MMA really like during the John Jones era when he was on top and Conor McGregor and all those guys. So I remember watching Jessica I on Ultimate Fighter, and here on Long Island, she comes to UFC gym pretty often and trains a lot of the people. And I was like, you got Jessica I there now. You've got you've got some pretty big names.
Yes, I have big names and current champion BKFC right now, Ben Rothwell. I fought him twice, and maybe I'm gonna fight one more time. And actually, I fought twice. First time it was Affliction. Second time was UFC. God willing, I might fight him bare knuckle fight for the title. So we'll see. We'll see.
Do you think is the bare knuckle genre, are they trying to take over the UFC, or is it just too separate? It's two different things, right? You're talking.
I don't think
apples,
anything
oranges.
could ever take. It's so big. It's like
Very
to take
tight.
over UFC.
You right here. Everybody else down.
I agree. Like even when you hear Bellator, like yeah, it's a bigger name, but at least to me as a fan, but I don't think Bellator will ever take over UFC. There's too much money in it. It's too much of.
Where's Bellator right now?
What do you say?
Well,
Where's Bellator right now?
Yeah.
Done. No more Bellator. Bellator PFL and still alive, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I mean, I like it all. I don't have an issue with any of it, man. All you guys, as long as I'm watching it, I don't want to get hit in the face anymore. I don't know how you keep getting hit in the face and just keep coming back. What is there something wrong with you, Andrei? Man, what's going? It's a good thing though, I guess. Isn't it? Or maybe not. maybe not. Absorbing all those punches and having that skull of steel. Man, I guess how do you do it after all these years without getting concussions and because it is you keep rocked in the head too much, your brain finally just it goes.
God willing, few years, I didn't fucking get punched too much. Just sleep. You see, I told you I love boxing. Sleep under. So it's all that crap. But listen, spend a lot of time with boxing coach right now, and plus. I don't get how fucking young fighters fighting like have a sparring days. No one fucking at my gym, no one except me wear fucking headgear. So what the fuck, guys? They walk the next day like oh my head hurts. Of course it's fucking hurts. First of all, you want to knock you fucking each other out, and secondly, why?
Oh man.
Why? I wear ear protection, fucking headgear.
I was gonna say, man, I mean, look, truthfully, you're one of the older guys in the game, and it's like when you came on with us in 2019,
I'm
and
the oldest. I'm the oldest one. Just older than me. Only Yoel Romero and fucking Dinosaur
Well,
T-Rex.
you're only like
yeah,
42, aren't you? 41, 40. I'm kidding, dude. I'm kidding. You're at least 49. At least, no. And you
he's
and I are
not
the
49
same.
yet.
I know you.
46, not 49, 46, but thank you. No.
But I was just gonna say, when you were on with us for episode one, which was the only one we did in studio in New York City, where you're fighting an MSG, I mean, I almost thought that it was like an unwritten thing and kind of implying to us, you were like, "Hey, this is it, win or lose, and I'm done at this point." And 6 years later, you're still doing it, and you're still winning.
It's 2019. Wow.
Yeah.
It was first
Yeah.
episode, first episode.
That
First
was the
episode, we
first
recorded
episode.
it back in
Yeah.
October of 2019, and like I thought that would be the last match. I did, and I think Chris did too.
Yeah. I did too.
Wow.
You just can't give it. Is it? What keeps you going? And it's not the money. I know it's not. I mean,
It might be.
I mean, well, I mean, part of it is you're not going to get punched in the face for free.
Money too. That's money to be honest with you. Especially when I fought in the UFC, that's fucking money, no doubt about. Plus, I'm lucky person. I'm doing what I love to do, and my family, my wife supports me. You know,
That's
you know
big.
how support,
Yeah.
how support is very important for
That's
soldiers, for like warriors, for fighters. It's fucking big things, and obviously she's not happy about bare knuckle fighting. But I told her, listen, I have good looking chick already. You're fucking so good. I have kids. Who cares? Man supposed to be a little bit prettier than fucking gorilla. That's it. So I have fucking a good looking chick. I have kids, so I'm good. By the way, since 2019, I got a newborn baby. So she's gonna be in December, like 2 months, 2 years old.
Wow,
So
congrats.
Wow. Congrats,
So-
man.
finally, yeah. And I'm just living my life, do what I love to do, and still have fire in my eyes. So
Nah,
I'm blessed.
and you're right. If your wife and your family support you, it's easier. If your wife said, "Hey, I don't want you doing this anymore," and adamant about it, then you kind of have to listen. Again, especially at our ages when we are starting to look like gorillas a little bit more every day, a little bit more good. You're spot on, man.
So my point was like, if you have already somebody next to you, and female person, she's beautiful. Who cares how you look, right? The most important, like, do what you love to do, and stay focused and stay hungry.
That's always.
Hungry. Yeah.
Yep,
You also live in like literally my favorite area of the country. You're in that South Florida area, but you're like an hour out from Miami, so you're away from the craziness, like the whole Boca Raton, West Palm Beach area. Unless you moved, right?
Now I a little bit closer, and I'm like 15, 20 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, but that's still not far from there. That's right around there.
No, it's still like when the traffic, it's still like 1 hour till Boca Raton, Delray Beach, but I'm more south, so I'm good.
Are you at Deerfield? Is that what you're going to say? Deerfield Beach?
Oh, David.
David, I know. I know the area pretty. I used to hang out there quite often, man. And there were some ranges down there I used to teach at. And then Israel Matos, and then Boone had buddies down there. It's a wonderful area, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and there's a reason why we moved, because of free, schools, like free and super good schools. My sons, little one Dominic won, middle one won lottery for Renaissance School.
Yeah.
Oldest one applied too, and he got 2. So it's like 1.6 miles from my house.
That's awesome.
Obviously no buses, because it's distance supposed to be more than 3 miles.
Yep.
And it starts at 8 o'clock. My kids all the time are late, because I'm not sneaky, smart. I'm all the time. I don't want to stay in line, like when like I just bring them like 8:10, 8:15, no line, so I'm good. And I other day I received an email from a school. We worried about your kids because they late all the time. How we can help you? And I wrote down, if you can, please help me financially. No more emails, no more questions.
That's it. And give me an Andrei Arlovski lane that I can drive and drop my kids on. I want my own special lane. I know I hate sitting in line, but even in our little town, when you go pick up the kids, they look, he's just waiting in line, man, waiting in line. And I can't even imagine in your area with all the people where you ain't got nobody here. And I still don't like, hey, what's the, Ian, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you going to say something?
No, you can ask for your
I'm sorry.
question.
Yeah, hey, you have a daughter now, and I know how when I had it, and my daughter's getting older. She's starting to date now, which is, yeah.
Oy, oy,
But
oy.
what this is more of a father question than a fighting question. When you have your daughter, I know I changed with the sons that you handle them. What's changed, man? Has it made you softer? Has you made it did me? Even though my daughter's probably tougher. She's more like me than the boys are, to be quite honest. But what's the change in fatherhood to you when you have the daughter, and what's going to happen, man? You're going to get softer, which is good.
100%, and everything changed because I'm still tough with my boys, and you know that before 2 years old, they more like mama's daughters.
Yeah.
Crazy, what the fuck? Why mama, baba, and grandma? Why not papa? Now only papa. She saw me like I'm coming in the house. She's running to me. It's just like, for her smile, I'm gonna solve my motherland. When she smiles, papa, like it's everything. And I'm happy because my son's his oldest one, Andrei, he's going to turn 13 in August. Dominic just turned 7. They said Savannah's supposed to have permission to date someone. I said I like your attitude, guys. I like it. So, yeah.
You're gonna enjoy that, man. This was my last summer where my daughter started dating, and a perfect scenario. He showed up. I just got off the range. I had 2 guns on me. I had ammo. I was getting out of my side but he was nicest kid in the world, and I love him. He's a really nice guy, and he said, "Mr. Pirano, I'm scared of you, Mr. Pirano, but I wanted to." But he came and asked me to take out my daughter on a date, and he did everything right. Yeah, it was.
Nice.
So can you imagine the first time she's gonna date when the guy comes to the house and sees him open the door? That's good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
true.
Awesome.
I was going to ask you though. Speaking of shooting and the range and everything, the last time you were on, we were speaking about that a lot. Any news with any purchases or anything you're shooting with? Because I know outside of the cage, you're an avid shooter.
Obviously, I still shooting. Obviously, I'm going when I have free time, and actually, I'm going this Sunday to shoot with my friend in Jupiter. But new purchases, I don't know. Stella Arms built Maximus rifle. I had a Pitbull, and they called the rifle after him. It's great rifle. What else? By the way, I wanna Chris send one. I need to talk to a company. I wanna send one for you, one for Boone, to get your reviews and feedback.
Yeah,
and I'm going. Yeah, I'm going. This year, I was after 2 years off. I was on a SHOT Show. I really enjoyed. I didn't see you guys over there.
No, I didn't make it this year.
I actually I was speaking in North Dakota, dude. It was minus 35. I was speaking at I'm in North Dakota State or one of the universities up there. Dude, it was I wanted to go to Vegas this year, but I can't pass up the speaking events. But boy, man, I was butt ass cold. It was cold.
A lot good new looking stuff over there, and actually I'm jealous. But yeah. What else?
Are you working with anybody, bud? Are you working with any
Just Stella Arms. Stella Arms, new rifle company. They built awesome rifle, and I became most right now more than a shooter. I became a baseball father. My oldest one play baseball. Now I still learn the rules, but I really enjoy baseball, and I'm probably the loudest parent in the fucking.
I'm sure.
I'm not screaming only on my child, other childs and their parents as well. And he was in Cooperstown. It's like for 12U. It's like the World Cup in baseball for 12U. And my fight. I'm supposed to fight. Long story short, I'm supposed to fight in December. They moved to May. From May, they moved to June. I said I can go June because June it's like from 17th till 25th. It's a Cooperstown. I said, come on, guy. Otherwise, you're gonna wait. I said, okay, fuck it. And I was in San Antonio, Texas. My son, he was in Cooperstown. And the phone, I download that, but for some reason I couldn't watch the live videos. I just like some parents sent me videos, and I was on a game changer, and I was fucking happy. He did okay. He did okay.
That's hard to miss, man. My son did that, all that select baseball stuff all the way up to, he's running track in college now. But man,
Oh,
that's it.
nice.
That's it. I mean, they take that shit seriously.
But
It's almost too serious sometimes, man.
during the baseball season, obviously, actually tomorrow he's gonna get tryouts for 13U, same team, but 13U. Coach called me. I said after Cooperstown, he's gonna select it for sure. But if you don't mind, he has to show up. I said no problem. When season starts, between my workouts and kids' activities, every single day, I'm between
Yeah.
6 to 8 hours in the car.
Yeah,
I
you're
live.
there. It's practicing
I
games every day.
I moved closer. It's supposed to be less, 6 to 8 hours every fucking day.
Are they?
And sometimes these games, you have to drive somewhere because he's a travel team. So you have to. It's like drive me crazy.
Well,
But
it's full time.
oh yeah.
Is he going to just stick with and that's what's tough. And when we grew up, at least I know I got to do everything. I played football, I played baseball, basketball, because you didn't have to focus on one sport. Now you almost have to focus on. Do you agree on that? I don't agree with that, dude. I think they should do everything, but they have to now because it's almost year round.
But you know what, Chris? I have a different vision because listen, how you gonna be good at something if you're gonna like play many sports like baseball, flag football? He want to do flag football. I said absolutely not. If you wanna do something good in baseball, you have to focus on baseball because they have three times a week team practice. Plus, other days he's taking private lessons with hitting or catching. So you have to focus. I don't know.
I
Same.
feel like that
But
makes sense to me because I just think of like, I mean, there are the rare exceptions, right? There's the Deion Sanders who played professional baseball and professional football. It's extremely rare. But when I think of like the greats, I don't think Tiger Woods was doing anything but playing golf, and if that's the route that he wants to go, what you're saying makes sense to me.
And that's where growing up, high school, those other sports helped. When I played football, that did help me in basketball. When I played basketball, it really did help me in baseball because you're working other muscles, you're doing other drills, and I had a scholarship for college for football and basketball, and honestly, I probably could have had one for baseball if I
But
would
you
have.
see, you said Chris said high school and college. He's a middle school. It's and another Jan took it from my mouth. One guy, one of the main guys in our team plays soccer. He injured and he couldn't go fucking to competition. It was tournament and it's caused us a championship ring. So you
Sure.
see, in my case, you have to focus. That
And yeah, to be honest, if the kid, my thing is because my son did, he played a lot, but he did like to focus on one thing. If my son is happy, your son is happy, that's the biggest thing. I enjoyed playing everything, and I was very blessed to luckily to be decent, at most stuff, and it did help me. But I like to play everything. But if my son, he liked to focus on a couple things, and so I think if your son is happy, that's the most important thing. And you're right. No, you're right. You have a good argument. There's a valid argument there, and I
And
won't
plus,
dispute that.
a tiny guy, fucking 700 millions. They just signed a new like Mexican kids, 9 fucking 100 millions. I said,
Yeah,
and I did. Be honest with you, I don't remember. Did I tell you that story or not before? Uh,
but
yeah, back to that story. I still like learning rules, and I told you that I saw that the boring fucking game on the planet. But when he showed me some like curveball, fastball, knuckleball right now, I said, "What the? Well, hold on. I still learn rules, like I said, but no, it's not easy." I told the coach, "Let me hit that fucking ball. What's so hard about? Come on, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 times missed, sweating like a pig." I said, I took the shit personal, I said, slow down, less speed. Let me finally somehow. I said, no, it's a lot of work.
it is
It's a lot.
baseball is a lot harder than what people think. And I
Way
wish looking back on high school and then college, I wish I would have. It would have taken less toll on my body, baseball. But baseball it's religion, brother. Being out there in the spring, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're out. It is so, and going to. I got to play in those Little League World Series. I got to play in the state championships, regional championships, even just in high school, and it is different. Football is that's tough. And it's tough, and you have good days, but then you're playing in the cold. You're playing, it's freezing sometimes, the snow, your fingers hurt. Baseball, it's like, man, this is like church. And you go to even to the smaller stadiums. So yeah, if I was going to recommend anything, golf or baseball, yeah, it sure takes less toll on your body. And you're right, the money, yeah, money's there, man.
Plus Florida all year around,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. It is weird though how like the Miami Marlins, they draw like no crowd when they play the Mets or the Yankees. It's like all New Yorkers there. It's wild. But yeah, man, I'm just giving my opinion as like an observer. I am by no means an athlete, unlike you guys. I mean, I don't really excel at any sport. But you know what I wanted to ask you about was I don't know if you remember this. The last time you were on, you were like, "Hey, when I no longer have to be drug tested and I'm no longer fighting, I want to hop on HRT." And you were very transparent about that. I assume with bare knuckle, that's out of the question since you're still fighting and you have to be drug free, right?
Actually, I was tested and results come back negative. I'm clean, yeah. But
so I mean,
are there
does that
guys
bother you because you've wanted to hop on HRT? You said
I do want it, but you have to. I guess if I think about that, but definitely it's big help. 100%.
Do you don't hear much about it like we used to? I remember when that was a big deal. And that was the Mark McGuire.
I feel like I hear about it all. I feel like I hear about it more, to be honest.
I don't. But I'm not in the mix. I guess that's my question is: Are they still very strong and adamant against dope? And I said doping, but steroids and human growth and all that. Putting anabolic stuff in your body. Are they pretty hard nosed on it, or have they become a little more lackadaisical? And that's I don't know, man. So I don't pay attention to it.
They're still super strict, and they can like show up like any time between 6 in the morning until 9 and 5 days a week. But in bare knuckle fighting, it's I guess it's a little less attention they're paying, but definitely they're gonna test you before the fight, but. Not so strict like in the UFC, but still, obviously, I'm not going to touch some stuff. Never. But I think about. But I need to do like before. I have to do like blood work, talk to specialist, good doctor, and we'll see.
I just think of that John Jones thing where they were like, we found 1 picogram, and I've never heard of the word picogram until the John Jones thing. And, it just kept going back and forth where he's like, I don't know, I was on some supplement, and like it was like one word of the other of was he on something, was he not on something? And speaking of that guy, man, I don't know if you feel the same. I mean, as someone who was really into it at that time, I feel like John Jones is the greatest of all time. And it's just like if this guy could get his personal life together, he'd be looked at as Michael Jordan.
Who's the best all the time? Excuse me.
Andrei Arlovski. I think it was.
In his prime, could you really say it's not John Jones? In his I just think his personal life has screwed it all up for him.
Well, listen, definitely he's very talented, and I had a feeling he's gonna fucking back and fight one more time, especially if they agreed on about fucking money. And I don't know, did you hear or not? Trump announced it might be in the White House. So UFC in the White House.
Whoa!
Yeah, I did see that. I did on the White House lawn. I did see that. Yes.
Back yard. Listen,
I mean, that would be insane. Imagine watching a UFC in front of the White House. It'd be. And Trump would be the guy to do it. Trump is Dana White's best friend. He would. It would be amazing.
But can you imagine what kind of headache gonna be for fucking Secret Service?
I know.
How much gonna cost tickets? It's gonna be. I'm telling you.
Oh, dude, they're gonna have all the DC, all of Northern Virginia, PD. There's gonna be so much crime outside in the urban because there's gonna be no cops and no security except all around the White House.
We went here like in April in Miami, and Trump was attending. and it was nightmare. I was like, after the fight, I left earlier because I knew it's going to be a mess. I still had spent in my car what 2 hours
Wow.
until I'm going to be able to get home. And next day, my son has a baseball game. He was sleeping in the back seat, and I carried him in the house. I said, it was nightmare. But cool people, cool Secret Service, cool people. One of them gave me a coin. It was kind of cool.
That's cool. That's cool. That would be cool though. That would be an epic sight
It's
to
going to be
see.
last time opportunity, whatever. Who's else gonna do events in the White House?
Yeah,
Nobody.
just well, I mean they'll do and the liberals get now we don't never mind. I won't go down politics. Sorry, I'm gonna stay out of politics on this one. I don't know what they do in the White House if somebody else
100%.
but I guess my last thing for you, bro, is just you know your body. How's your body doing? Body feeling? Oh yeah, I saw the training video. I didn't see the fight, but I did. You know, we still follow each other on social media, and I follow your trainer. I like that guy. I like your trainer. I actually follow him now. That he was posting stuff where he was training you, and it seems like a great guy. He was really pushing you, man. But how are you feeling, man? How not the muscles? The muscles we can, but it's the joints, the cartilage, the tendons, the ligaments. That's what wear out on us old people, man. I'm old. You're not. I'm old. It wears out. But how are you feeling, man? How's the body and how much more punishment do you think you can take?
Overall, thanks God, I'm okay. But my low back still bother me a little bit more than like before. My low back, actually, I heard today, and I'm walking kind of like crooked. But otherwise, like everything good. Listen, I'm taking care of my shit, my body. Stretching before and after, it's no doubt about. If I'm not going to stretch, I'm not going to start workout because for me it's very important. And shooting, by the way, better than before. And no, just take care of myself. Massage, of course, like sauna with all this Russian style with brooms.
Yep.
So diet, of course, diet. Yes. Try to take care.
We do have to watch those. I don't. I mean, even though with my own vodka, I still don't drink. I don't drink as much anymore. In fact, I very rarely do, just because my body can't handle it. I don't know if you can. I can't.
Honest energy drink in the last 3-4 months because I didn't sleep enough and I had to be awake and like sharp in the next couple hours. Still drinking. I love to drink actually more. I don't like vodka, but I finish a bottle. Most I like to drink whiskey or bourbon, and when I'm gonna find out exact date, 2 months before the fight, no alcohol. Don't drink coffee already like for few months. So yeah.
That's
I've
good.
got to isolate that
glad.
clip of you talking Tonto vodka, and we'll put that up on Instagram.
Yeah,
That's pretty damn cool.
that is cool, man. Yeah, but it's good. And some guys can. I know buddies of mine, Rangers, but that can still they can but then they can't drink coffee. Where I can drink coffee till all day and be just fine. But the alcohol, it's just different. Bodies, different vices affect us differently, and we just got to figure out when we get older what we can still partake in and what we can't because it affects us. And yeah, you know what your body can take.
Thanks God, it's still taken okay with the
whiskey, with the whiskey,
the heavy liquid. Yeah.
That's
nice,
good,
man.
Good.
I know you got press to do for Bare Knuckle, but yeah, at Andrei Arlovski on Instagram and X. Man, it's always an honor to have you on. Like I said, episode 200, first time meeting you was episode 100. And yeah, beat through Chris. I'm honored to call you a friend,
100
man.
was episode
100
1.
was Mad Max Mullen. But he was episode 200 and now 300.
Right, and episode 1, right?
Episode 1.
First,
I was going to ask you,
remember
man,
that.
The Andrei Arlovski shirt is badass, man. Where could I pick up one of those?
Look at that.
Arlovski method. It's announced soon. Some stuff.
Could I buy one? I like the shirt. It's cool.
I'll send it. You don't have to buy it.
All right, say no more, man. I want one.
Yeah.
Sold. Awesome. It's good. Hey, it's good seeing. I'm I'm really, but I'm still blessed and thankful for our friendship, man. Thanks for being a friend for a long time, man.
I
Appreciate you,
didn't
bro.
see for a long time, but yeah,
Yeah. Well,
one day,
we'll,
one day.
we'll get back to shots. I'm gonna if I don't have a speaking event this next shot, I'll be there and we'll link up then and grab some. I'll have a coffee, you have a whiskey, we'll be good to go, man.
I like it. And for especially for shot show, I was sick to get better guests. I just opened my own company, European Dream Arms. So that's why I'm be able to get my own credentials. So I'm good.
Oh, so love it, man.
Thank you, Osman.
Well, when you start building guns, I'm your guy. I'm your guy, dude.
It's no, I can't build it. It's only like it's for selling, like not face to face, only online. Because ATF give me said I want to build guns. I want to because some friend they recommend apply this. I said no, I was the simplest one. Make sure I'm gonna get something. So yeah,
Yeah, it's all right. Whatever you need, you know me. I got your back, dude. Whatever you
of
need.
course, of course.
Whatever you need. Or God bless you, bro. You're a good man. And good luck. Good luck to you. I'm proud of you, man. You're
Very
doing
much, sir.
awesome. Yeah, congrats
man.
on the girl too.
Thank
Thank
you
you as
very
always,
much.
man.
And thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. God bless you guys as usual. Thank you for having me, and talk to you soon. Thank you.
That's all for this episode of Battle Line Podcast. But we're always posting new content on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Battleline Podcast and on Twitter at Battleline Pod. That's an order. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes up every Tuesday. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or your podcast platform of choice. Believe in yourself. Face all challenges head on. And as always, never quit.